we tend to see those adventures, those success stories, we tend to see them out there. So it's them, not me. And my question, my mission is to say, why not?
Why not you?
Why not you? If we want to do effective self-expression, it just translates into business development.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. And I'm glad to introduce my guest, Christian Masset, who is all the way from Hong Kong. Thank you, Christian, for being here. And before we start our fantastic topic today, which is storytelling for business, I'm going to introduce Christian. So Christian is French and established for over 25 years in Hong Kong. He started in business development employed by two major German freight forwarding companies. Then he decided to move to education and corporate training. His company, Peak Communication, was born in 2012, providing university students with public speaking skills. Then came corporate executive consultant and entrepreneurs in order to become more versatile in the way they talk about their business to various audiences and to the media. So for Christian, really to be a coach means to shape a better world in enhancing people's skills and self-confidence. So thank you, Christian, for being here. And I know that today you're going to talk about storytelling for business. So tell us a bit more about the topic.
Thank you very much, Isabel. I'm very pleased to be here with you. Storytelling is actually abundantly used by major corporations all over the world. We can talk about all the corporations, you know, the car manufacturers, the cosmetics, the shoe companies. And there is no reason that only large corporations with $1 million of business can afford to do good storytelling, which means actually producing $1 million videos that develop in you a strong emotional response. Because everybody knows for 100 years now that purchasing is done on emotion. And therefore, the purpose of advertising, you would agree, is just to create an emotional response, bringing you to acquire the product, the service, whatever you want. So now it is possible. It is really not only possible, but it is advised for SMEs to use the resources of good storytelling. And good storytelling has many use. You can use them, of course, with your clients, with your business partners, with potential clients, existing clients, potential clients, business owners, and you should also use it inside the company. For instance, you can use it at during the recruitment process. When you select candidates, you can ask them, you know, what do you think about the story I've just told you? And then you can see whether the story brings any response to the applicant, you know, oh yes, it's interesting.
If there is a connection.
That's right. Whether there is, whether the applicant to the job feels something, whether he would like to be part of the story of the company, whether he would like to be part of the adventure of your company, etc., etc. So storytelling is also about transmitting the values of your company and much more than that. And therefore, you don't need only to have one story. As you realize, and this is what we do during the training, as you realize that you start to pay attention to stories of clients, stories of business partners, stories of providers. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 stories that you can use appropriately during networking, in social circumstances of all sorts, at work, etc., etc. Those stories have a specific structure, and this is what we do during my seminar. We learn to understand what is a good story, how to use it. There is one important point to keep in mind. The story must always be true. A story that is not true, that is a pure invention, you will notice it never works. Mm-hmm. A story must resonate. And this is not only me who says that. It must resonate in the fabric of the universe. That means what we say sends ripple and comes back as a true occurrence, as a true vibration. And then you will see the result. People will get touched, all right? So what I'm working on with participants, with entrepreneur participants, is actually to understand the structure of a good story, mm-hmm. and how simple it should be, and yet simple with a structure. How simple it must be, how enjoyable it can be to tell it again and again, and see the result on the people who listen to it. Usually a good story lasts. It stays in the memory. And this is what we ask, actually. We ask to be remembered for the right reason, and at the same time, convey the values, the why of the company, and and there is more.
Of course, I know that you teach that, and you help entrepreneurs to shine, basically. So through their story, okay. So you said something which resonates, something which is true, with values, why. And I know we've been working together, and thank you again for your help, Christian. And
that's my pleasure.
Something you said to me was don't just say what you do, but explain why you do. For example, I used to say, well, I'm a coach. And but there are so many different types. So people were just like, okay, but if they've got no interest, or if they don't have the time, they won't ask, what type of coach, or who are you?
Exactly.
And instead of that, changing as what I do, I accompany women to shine, to get their confidence back, so they can rise up and take on the world. So that certainly changed the perception of what I do.
That's right.
And as well, the fact that people will be interested and just say, hey, why? And then I can talk about my story based on, well, I've managed to fulfill my dreams, and that's why I want women to do the same. So basically, that's my story. That's the way I convey my values and my story. So based on that structure, is there anything else we could add, for example, in our storytelling? Is there like a little tip you could give us?
The story is about a few anecdotes, meaningful anecdotes that happen, and for the training about storytelling actually comes after another training I do, which is presenting your own service, presenting your company. So this is a different training, but there are common points with it. Mm-hmm. And the common points between these two is the importance of an emotional response. And an emotional response is something very simple. It's just that we get we feel something here, we get touched. And this is not only a connection with whether we make a decision to follow or not, but it leaves a deep impression. I would like to give you an example. For instance, during the training, I like to quote the story of a woman, Mrs. Roddick. Mrs. Roddick, who created the brand and the business of the Body Shop. So Mrs. Roddick had some principles, and she was passionate about cosmetics, and she was thinking it should be possible to have good product first, which does not cost a fortune, who are as natural as possible, actually natural, based on natural ingredients, which does not involve animal testing, delivered in recyclable containers. And that was the why of a business, simply. And it was spelled out in advertising for years and years and years. I remember the time where in Hong Kong or in London, Paris, anywhere, you could see Body Shop, no animal testing. Body Shop, bring your containers, etc., etc. So that was the why. And it's not difficult to understand why so many women immediately went on the bandwagon and just said, yes, that's my new supplier, right? Instead of buying well-known expensive brands, which actually many of which are French, right? All right, no animal testing, recyclable containers, natural, and rather affordable, quite affordable for every purse, right? So she started, so the story goes, she started in her bathroom mixing vegetal cream and essences, lavender, rose, rosemary, thyme, geranium, etc., etc. And of course, it was delicious. It was great. She was doing what everybody does for this kind of product, B2C. You give it to family. You see how they like it. Then to the extended family, the cousins and the grand auntie and the grandmothers and the in-laws. And then they all liked it. They said, well, maybe I should try the friends. And then the friends. And then someone said, what are you doing? Get a shop. And this is how the whole adventure started. And fast forward, this is our Body Shop is present in 120 countries, something like that. All right. So it started with a big why. It started with a genuine concern with ethics. Ethics, a big brand, a big, I would say, a big notch of ethics in it. And people like it. People like it because actually ordinary people like ethics. They appreciate it. They put value into it. And this is one story which encapsulates the whole adventure of Body Shop, which has been a tremendous commercial success, business success.
That's true, because it resonates to me. I've got animals, I've got 2 dogs, and obviously
exactly.
I don't want them to suffer. And then exactly the emotion, find a way to just create an emotion, and so people relate to your brand and suddenly they buy from you. So
exactly. And many other brands started like that. So it's not new. But the question is, we tend to see those adventures, those success stories, we tend to see them out there. So it's them, not me. And my question, my mission is to say, why not?
Why not you?
Why not you?
Exactly.
Why not you, Isabel? If you would like your company to grow, you could grow your company across 2, 3, 5 countries. I tell you, I think the first It's like the first million. It's the hardest to get. But I would say the first I would say export countries where you have another presence is the hardest. Once you have successfully established an agency or a branch in another country successfully, you can get 2, you can get 3, you can get 10. You see? So it's the same. And my in the evolution of my own business now, I'm more and more starting to think, you know, why not me, actually, having a consultancy and developing a franchise, developing an ethics, developing a code, a charter, and say there could be peak communication, maybe in Thailand, in France, etc., etc. You know, so this is the way I really encourage entrepreneurs also to think. Now, this is beyond just public speaking or self-expression, but if we want to do effective self-expression, it just translates into business development. A good storytelling, the sharing of a good mission statement, if you like it, if you want to call it like that, or a big why, keeps your clients and your providers together. That means they may buy less, we may have to do some efforts on the price, but you won't use your clients. Your clients, you will be surprised how faithful your clients can be. And these have proven true for many big companies in times of crisis, economic crisis or recession. The clients may buy less, but they will keep buying. You remain their preferred supplier. And this is the same from a B2B perspective. Your supplier will stay with you. You need to keep close communication with your suppliers and say, let's sit, let's talk. Times are tough, but we want to stay with you. And they may say, we want to stay with you too. And this makes for very strong companies, very, very strong companies. You know, it's like the crew on a ship. We go through bad weather, but nobody leaves. And we try as much as possible to take care of each other.
That's right. It's like a teamwork, because in my previous life I was in sales, so it's a teamwork. And the thing is listening, as far as I'm concerned, is listening the needs and the problems people have, like not only clients but our suppliers and internally, and try to solve the problems and work as a team. So yeah, we will as a team go through, well, hell maybe, but we will come back.
Exactly.
Christian, thank you very much. And actually all your details are in the description of the Facebook Live today, our talk show. And people can see as well your website, www.peakcommunication.hk. And so they can contact you for, sorry, for the webinar. And thank you ever so much for giving us some tips to write our story. But I invite you, our audience, people watching us, to contact Christian to get more information and to get your 2 stories after participating in the workshop. So, and thank you again, Christian, all the way from Hong Kong. I know it's a bit late for you, but that was a fantastic chat. And thank you for all the tips. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Isabel. All the best and see you soon.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.